1998's Brink. Andy Brink Brinkman and his friends Jordy, Peter, and the token girl in every 90s sports movie, Gabriella, are soul skaters.
Let's go show them what soul skating's all about.
I guess that just means they do it for fun. When Brink discovers that his dad, Mr. Brinkman, is on disability because he got into an accident at the construction site, Andy decides he needs to abandon his soul skating ways and join the sponsored team, the X-Blades. That's with a Z. Brink's trying to earn money for his family, but that means turning his back on his soul skating ways. Will his friends ever understand? This movie is full of X-Tremes. Please stick around later in the video for the Slang supercut. Let's get into it. This movie opens with some great ska music. Brink is late to meet his friends at the bus stop. His dad is grumpy, but don't worry, he's got his rollerblades tied to his backpack. He just runs all the way there to the bus stop. His friends are not happy about this.
Wait a minute. You're not thinking about skating to the beach, are you?
Why not, Jordy?
Well, guys, it's like a million miles away.
Wait a minute, so he did know he could use his rollerblades. We have the first of many great skating scenes. They're skating down to the skate park, so they're bombing the hills. They're grinding down the rails. Wait a minute. Who is that? And who is that? That's not Gabriella, that's a man with a wig on. Of course these actors are not extreme rollerbladers in real life. It's just so clear that these are all grown adults with like bad wigs and costumes. We'll see some more examples later. The soul skaters notice a photographer from Inline magazine. They notice because of his hat.
He's from Inline magazine.
So we're introduced to the X-Blades, who he's really here to photograph. And let me introduce you to the X-Blades. There's Val. He's their leader. He is an absolute psychopath and definitely a serial killer. There's Jimmy, the scummy manager. There's Boomer, the Black Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He might be playing a Power Ranger in this movie. I'm not sure. There's this guy. We'll call him Short Man Complex. And there's BJ. They just call him Beej.
BJ's using it.
Aren't you, Beach? Oh, man.
The rivalry is set. So Brink's dad is out of work and he just does not get his son Brink.
What's the matter with being happy? He's a great kid.
It's just not normal.
David Graff as the dad, he's totally the standout actor in this movie. He's great. Now we're back at school. Gabriella is forced to wear a dress and there's a little tussle with the X-Blades out front. Now they're in class and look who it is as the teacher, Tom Virtue. We saw him last time get killed in the opening of Under Wraps. Let's put up the Tom Virtue counter, and don't worry, he's in many more Disney Channel original movies. I'm willing to go out on a limb and say he is the actor in the most Disney Channel original movies, but we'll keep up with it. To retaliate against the X-Blades / just totally raise the conflict to a new level, Brink decides that he's going to steal worms from his classroom and put them into Val's sandwich in sort of a switcheroo operation. Val takes a bite of the worm sandwich. It's gross. He stands up in a fury and he challenges them to a relay. A skating relay. There is nearly no violence in this movie about skate culture.
I just want to pound the snot out of you. It's like open season on your butts. Let's do it.
There's no skating at school, but they do it anyway. But oh no, Boomer hits a rail, he goes down. Val, the sociopath, couldn't care less, but Brink stops the race. He goes over to Boomer. He calls the nurse to come. The teachers all come out. They've been caught. Brink is sent home from school early. His dad is not happy. He already lost his job. His son got sent home from school. And on the way home, his car breaks down.
Great. Lovely. Just lovely.
He's going through a rough patch. This further exasperates the money troubles back home, and the parents are talking about it, and Brink sort of overhears them talking about how hard their finances are right now.
Strutting around. You can't wait to get back to work.
All I need is my job back.
Don't worry about the money. We're gonna be okay.
For a kid's movie, I'm telling you, this dad is doing such good acting. The next day at school, they're talking about how mad all of their parents were.
At least you got two parents.
I got a mom and a Jerry.
And now we're 3 for 3 movies with divorced parents. Let's put it up on the divorce counter. Val comes over to tell them that Boomer is out for the season, the skating season. Oh yeah, and he makes a ton of money, and they could totally try out if they wanted to. Not like they would let him in. This gets Brink thinking.
Can you believe that guy?
Skating for money.
Sellout.
And we find out that this was Val's plan all along.
Think he'll show? You know it.
Is Val the devil? Is Val the devil in this movie? And he's just hanging that apple out there for him to take a bite. While skating the next day, Brink sneaks away for a family thing. He's going to try out for the X-Blades. Back at X-Blades HQ, there's just a lot of boxes that say X-Blades on them. What's in those boxes? X-Blades. Probably, you know, rollerblades and stuff. I realized what's so jarring about all of these skate scenes, which is like 80% of the movie, which is it's extremely tight close-ups or else like super wide shots where you can't see anything, and just the backs of stuntmen, obviously because they don't want to show their face, but then they do totally show their face all the time. The directors of this movie could never have imagined Disney Plus existing and like watching this in 4K. They're like, they'll never be able to tell. They give him a spot on the team, but Brink makes them promise that they won't tell his other friends, and then Val makes Brink promise that he'll show him respect.
No more bagging on me in front of people.
Team X-Blades manager Jimmy is this guy.
Oh, you went big there, my man.
He's sort of like a douchey Coach Bombay from the Mighty Ducks. He says "my man" a lot, and he's just sort of exploiting children for his business, you know. At dinner, Brink tells them about the X-Blades opportunity. He says he could skate and help out the family with the money, and his dad just says straight up no.
Yeah, what do we need him to be on a sponsored team for? So he can spend all of his time thinking about skating instead of just most of it?
He just does not get Brink. Brink starts practicing with the X-Blades, and he's doing really good. You know, because of this line.
That was rad, Brink.
And he's being nice to Val at school.
No, I don't think you're a jerk.
Oh, thank you.
But he keeps having to make excuses in front of all of his friends. And of course, Val is continuing to be abusive to Brink.
Hit it again. Good doggy.
He's an insane person. But after his practice with the X-Blades, Blake? Who's Blake? Brink has to go and practice with the Soul Skaters. He cannot keep this up. Soon, it's the day of the big invitational. All of these movies have invitationals. And Brink, of course, he has to keep up this lie with his friends. He can't participate in the invitational with both, so he pretends to be sick, and he makes the Soul Skaters miss out on the invitational so he can go do it with Team X-Blades. But he tells the Soul Skaters, whatever you do, don't go to the invitational. Like, just do a practice session on your own. But guess what? They go anyway. And when they arrive, Brink is up to skate. Brink does really great in the invitational, but he gets found out by his friends.
I knew it! All those excuses, all that sneaking away?
And they storm off, and then Brink storms off because he realizes he upset his friends. And then Val's like, he'll be back. I don't know how Val knows he'll be back or how Val knows he needs the money. He's totally the devil. I would definitely investigate maybe his movements around construction sites. Val totally hurt Brink's dad. I have no proof of this, but look at that smug look on his face.
Well, looks like we just lost our fourth man.
I don't think so, Jimmy.
Brink tries to make up with his friends, but they won't take him back. But Val's there to welcome him back to the X-Blades. Literally, he's just there, like he's stalking Brink or something.
You want to know the difference between them and me? You bailed on them and you bailed on me.
The X-Blades are practicing over on the downhill course, and we get some exposition. The rollerblading championship has 3 parts: street, vert, and downhill, and they're gonna practice the downhill right now. But oh no, the Soul Skaters had the same idea. Val makes some racist comments to Gabriella.
If you don't like it here,
Why don't you go back to Mexico?
And then he's like, let's do a skate off, because last time that totally didn't result in horrible injury and escalation of this gang conflict. At this point, you might be asking yourself, what is this story based on? It has some sort of West Side Story gang elements in it. Well, I'm happy to tell you that Disney reached into their old bag of tricks and pulled out the 1865 story Hans Brinker. The full title is Hans Brinker, A Story of Life in Holland, or The Silver Skate. Yes, this is based on an 1865 story about speed skating in Holland. Ice skating, that is. And the main character is named Hans Brinker. As far as I know, he didn't actually go by Brink in that story. Also, there's no X-Blades, but it's totally a story about a son raising money for his injured father so that he can get a hole bored into his skull to relieve his brain swelling pressure. It's a little bit different than this story, but it ends the same. I won't spoil it yet. Back to the hill, and it's Brink and Gabriella that are racing down it. Val tells Brink, stay on the outside of that turn at the bottom. Brink's like, what? And he tells Gabriella, hey, I think you should also stay at the outside of that turn at the bottom. She's like, no one stays at the outside of a turn, dummy. And Val skates off to the bottom. He's like, I'll make sure that no one's cheating. You know, because since I have so much integrity. After some sweet shredding down the hill, Val throws a bunch of rocks onto the last turn, and well...
Gabrielle, the outside! Yeah, right!
A white lady with a wig falls on it in slow motion, and some legs tumble end over end. When it's all said and done, Gabriella has a giant scratch on her arm. That night, Brink comes over to visit Gabriella. He runs into the other two soul skaters, and they're like, you suck, man. Get out of here. But he goes up to the door anyway, and Gabriella's mom invites him in, and they have a sort of heart-to-heart about what it means to be a soul skater.
You gotta understand.
You were the one who told me about soul skating. About skating from the heart. And only skating for the love of it. And I believed you because you were my friend.
But it was only gonna be for a little while. My family really needed the money.
We all need the money, Brink. What does that have to do with it?
He really gets guilted about trying to help his family with their money problems. Brink goes home, and him and his dad finally sit down and have a heart-to-heart over his old skates. Brink tells his dad the truth, and his dad forgives him, and Brink admits it wasn't just for the money, it was also kind of for the glory.
I wanted to have my picture in every magazine. I wanted to be somebody.
You and me, we're a lot alike.
And I totally didn't cry during this scene, thinking of my own son and the heart-to-hearts that we may have someday. Brink realizes he's through with the X-Blades once and for all, and he does this to show it. And they stand up as if to fight each other, and they still don't fight at all.
You got beef with me. You take it up with me Sunday at the championship.
Oh. We'll get it on for sure.
Again, Val, that's not communicating what you think it is. Brink comes crawling back to the Soul Skaters, and news of milkshakes travels quickly. And he comes bearing gifts, and all is forgiven. Brink has brand new equipment sponsored by the dog groomers, and Team Pup and Suds is born.
Sponsors are no fun.
Well, it depends on the sponsor.
Wait a minute, what about soul skating? Well, in order to still be soul skaters, they say that Brink just took an advance on his pay and bought the equipment himself, even though he still put the Pup and Suds logo on everything. It doesn't make very much sense. So this is it, the day of the big championship for the stunt people. We get a nice homage to the Silver Skate.
It's Zuma Beach, California, site of the 3rd annual Aggressive Inline Skating Championship.
Both Team X-Blades and the Pup and Suds do great through the first 2 rounds. Even Brink's dad gets to come and we find out he's gonna keep his job, which is awesome. But after 2 rounds, it's all down to the downhill course where Gabriella got her arm scraped. And it's who else but Val and Brink. And there's a lot of slow-mo looks.
Get set!
They're off. They're bobbing. They're weaving. They're falling. They're jumping. They're punching? I guess there's just a part where it's like they're on a blind turn and the cameras just turn off and Val just starts punching Brink while they're skating, but doesn't do much. Then Val goes to elbow him again, but he misses and he tumbles down. It looks like he's really hurt, so Brink stops as he always does and he goes to check on Val, but it's what Val's counting on, and Val pulls Brink down, cheating, but the cameras are like, we got it, we got it. And Brink has to run after him, but Brink knows a crazy shortcut, which I guess is legal in this race. And they're neck and neck, they're going back and forth, but the last jump, it's Team Pup and Suds! They win! It feels great, yeah. There's a huge celebration, all the X-Blades come up and they're like, we didn't know Val was like that, even though they've been experiencing it and participating in it like this entire movie. But still, they try to apologize. Even the manager, Jimmy, comes up. He's like, you can lead the X-Blades.
You're in! You're my man!
But Brink, he's learned his lesson now. He doesn't skate for money. He's a soul skater. The team gathers around him and he holds up the silver skate and he yells out, Soul Skaters! There's nothing we can't do! Freeze frame, fade to black.
Lateness.
Dude, chorness. My mom made me clean my room before I could leave.
That was an ill grab, man.
Oh, man, you got worked.
You tried to go bio on a 540?
Yeah, man, no problemo.
You guys snaked and you know it.
Yo, what's up, fam? Peace out.
Personally, I think it's fat. I'm mad cool, right, guys?
That was pretty dope, huh?
Val and his crew were dissing us, so we started giving them beef right back, and then they wanted to hit it right there at school. And clearly we couldn't step off, so we had to battle.
You got dissed, you ate beef.
No good, too buckled.
No more bagging on me in front of people.
None ya business.
That you just let Val slime all over you.
Split for the pad.
It was cool, and it was so sweet. You and I both know that no one talks like that anymore.